Alrighty, guys, I'm so excited because tonight we're going to be talking to two phenomenal leaders that I'm really close friends with, and we're talking about how your history doesn't determine your destiny. That's a quote that I heard within the last 2 weeks. It just really resonated with me, and I'm super excited because I get to introduce you to two ladies that have phenomenal stories. Kayla, we're actually going to be starting with you. So if you want to unmute yourself, I think you can.
Hello.
Hi. All right.
Hi.
So excited about this. So Kayla, if you just start off with like your story, how old you are, where you're from, when you got started, and just a little shebang about you.
Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Perfect. Yes. Okay. All right. So, hi guys. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Kayla. I am a diamond that works. I joined in May of 2017. It was very long ago. So I'm coming up on 3 years, which is insane. And I originally joined just because I was just at the lowest point in my life. I was so depressed and I had so much anxiety, and I was coming out of a very bad breakup, and I was just lost with life, and I just was sick of living paycheck to paycheck. I was a full-time college student. I joined this business actually during finals week. So for anyone that's like joining your teams right now during finals week, yep, that was me. I was one of those people. And I just was sick of living paycheck to paycheck. I could never, put gas in my car. And I just was over it. I was over it. So I waited until my work study job paid me at school. I only got paid like $130 every other week. So I literally made $260 a month at my work study job, which obviously isn't enough as a college student. So I joined, and I had a really, really slow start. I didn't catch the vision right away. I had no idea what I was doing. I had zero sales experience. I literally knew nothing. And I had a really slow start, but then once I started realizing like, wait, I joined this for a reason. Like I really like need to do this and see if this will work. And then here I am 2.5 years later.
Oh, that's awesome. And I really liked how you mentioned like you got started during a crazy season in your life, like literally during finals. And for those of you who are a college student, please comment in the chat and say like, yeah, you can relate, because we've all, been in school. We understand how crazy college can be. And for her to be like, yo, I'm going to do this life-changing thing, even with my craziness in my life going on, I got this, and that's just like so awesome. Like you set your mind to something and you went for it. Alrighty. So then flashback to like, when you got started, how did you work your business then with your schedule then to compare to now? Like kind of go through your journey with this and everything too.
So once I made the decision that I wanted to go Ruby, I made it work. I had 18 credits. First of all, I had 18 credits. I had a varsity sport that took up 25 hours plus of my week, which is a part-time job in itself. I had 2 clubs. I was like the head of one of them, and I had another on-campus job on top of that. So I literally, guys, like when I tell you that I was always doing something, I never sat down. I didn't even have time to shower. Like I was like literally like doing everything, going to class, eating lunch, going to sports, going to this club meeting, giving a tour. I was a tour guide on campus. I was giving a tour. And like when I tell you guys that it's literally all about fitting this business in the nooks and crannies of your freaking day. That's what it is. When you have 15 minutes between your class, do you know how many messages you can send out in 15 minutes? A lot, at least 30, at least. And it's just like, I just made it work. So, like when in between classes, I was messaging. When I was eating lunch, I was posting. Oh, well, actually, then we didn't really have stories. Wow, that's so weird. When I joined, like stories weren't a thing. Like when I joined, I had to post 3 times a day. Like it's so different now, but like when we had stories, like I would be posting on my story throughout the day. And I just remember, like, you know, for me, I personally am very vulnerable about my journey, about my story. So I personally, my captions, they're freaking long. Ask Jess. Like they're so long, but it's because like I have so much to say, and I know that the people that are watching me, they do read my stuff. I know that. So I like pour my heart and soul into my posts. And for me, like writing captions like by myself took me a really long time to kind of learn. And if you feel like that and you've been in for a little while, just know that's normal. Like it just takes time to kind of find like your voice and like what you want to talk about, what you're passionate about. And I kind of had to like kind of figure it out. Like that's just what it is. But the more that you do it, the more that you write your captions, the more that you post, the better it's going to be for you, the easier that it's going to be, the faster you'll write your captions. Like I can write a caption in 10 minutes now, when before I used to, took me like 30 minutes. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that like, you just have to fit it into the nooks and crannies of your day, especially if you have a very busy schedule. So like I would write my post the night before. If I had classes back to back and then practice and then a tour, I literally couldn't sit down for 30 minutes and write a caption. I couldn't do it. So what do you do every single night when you're in bed? When you're going to bed or going to sleep, what are you doing? You're scrolling. You're scrolling, whether that's through Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. So instead of me scrolling, I would write my caption for the next day. And like Instagram does this lovely thing where like you can write your caption and make it all pretty with emojis and like whatever you want to say, and you can edit your picture. You can have all the time in the world, because we don't go to bed when we say we're going to bed. We never do. So I would write my caption, I would edit my picture, and then I would save it in drafts. So that way the next day, like when I was on my lunch break, which was like honestly the only time I could honestly be on my phone like for more than 10-15 minutes, I would literally just go to drafts and then click post, and it'd be done. And I'd post in like 30 seconds. And then my post was done for the day. But I made sure to do that every single night. And that helped me so much when I was in school. Same thing with stories. I would, when stories existed, I would make sure to have my stories ready for the next day, whether I make them or, before. I never used to make my own stories. So I would take the other people's, and that's okay too. So that's really what I did. And it's just like, honestly, guys, like it just comes down to a choice. You either want to work this business or you don't. You either want to promote or you don't. You either want a $500 paycheck, a $2,000 paycheck, or you don't. So like if you are in school and you're busy, don't like use busyness as an excuse as to why you can't do this business, because you joined for a reason. You can never, ever lose sight of that. So I think like if you're like new or you haven't promoted or you're in school and you feel like you can't handle it all, I'm telling you that you can, because I've done it. And like it just all comes down to how bad do you want it?
Yes, I love your red. Just like
I'm so red. It's bad.
I love it.
It's so red.
I'm a green red. So like when
I am 0 point negative bajillion green. I am not green at all.
I'm super green. It's cool, but I absolutely love it. And yeah, like I joined November 2017. Stories still did not exist then. Stories didn't exist till like January, February 2018. And like I remember having to post like 3 to 5 times a day. I know people who posted 8 times on their feed a day, and like insane, you guys.
Yeah.
Like I literally had a prep post because I was working full time when I joined, and I couldn't be on my phone all day because I worked with animals. So like, literally, I pre-planned posts for like a week. I took 20 minutes on my day off, 20-30 minutes, and planned like dozens of posts with pictures, captions. I asked Sasha, like I looked at other top leaders for inspiration, and then when we got stories, it got a little bit easier. Just, like we could post on the story all we want. And like my girls have access to all of my templates in the team chat. So literally anytime I'm making stories, like I'm sharing it with them so they can use it. If they don't have that luxury of time to make their own stories, or they don't have the, like I use Over and all those other apps that I invested into those apps to, be able to. So like I share all the resources. So it's a little bit easier. So they have those. And it's all in one place. And then, or like template captions and stuff like that too. Like we kind of had when we got started.
Right.
Make it easier until they get into that nice habit. But
Right.
how you said you like pre-planned, and like drafts was like a game, like a lifesaver, to be honest.
Oh my God.
Especially when you're a time crunch, and stories are so quick, especially if you like, you can like pre-plan your stories now, like you can save them for the next day and like know which ones you're posting. So like intentional, and that kind of just, you're saying like you're choosing to work, like you just, if you are short on time already, you just have to use the time you have to do income producing activities for your business. If you don't want to be like, if you're really struggling and you're really, really, really broke, then you should be doing something about it to change that. And if you don't have time or don't have a lot of time, you got to use the time you have. And like for me, I had like zero time to be on my phone, working so much, commuting, all that jazz. I figured it out. I stayed up later. I got up earlier. Worked while I was at the gym. Like I figured it out. And for you, working, being in classes, being very involved while in school, like, and like for all of you who said you're a college student and you work and all that jazz and like finals and stuff like that, like timers, to-do lists are probably going to be your best friend, because then you can check things off. And like, luckily all that we do, it takes like, you can do messaging 10 people, following 50 to 100 people, interacting with 10 different posts, posting on your story, all of that in less than 10 minutes.
I was just going to say 10 minutes at least.
Minutes. Like it's crazy. And then you're done. And then you can go study for an hour, set a timer, goes off. Oh, gotta go do some stuff for another 10 minutes, answer messages. Yeah.
Right.
Like it's just that it comes down to, it's that simple. Like it's that simple what we have to do, but it's not easy being consistent, like essentially.
Right. Another thing is that like, you know, when you say that you don't have time, you're lying to yourself, because you do have time. You're just spending your time doing something else. Like, honestly, think about it. All the Netflix that you watch, Disney freaking Plus, the scrolling, or I don't know, taking a shower for more than an hour. I don't know. Like you have the time. You're just spending that time doing something else. So it's like my biggest thing, and I'm like completely vulnerable. I don't like sugarcoat anything. My biggest struggle, I scroll. I'm a scroller. I will scroll for hours. I will watch Ellen videos. I will do all the things, right? And do I want to scroll? Yeah. Do I want to? But is it going to make me money? No. So it's like every single time I like catch myself scrolling, I'm like, okay, I either just stop, or I say like, okay, if I need to scroll and like get it out of my system, I'm going to interact. I'm going to comment on things as I'm scrolling to not only get it out of my system, but also have it be income producing. So if you're someone that like is a scroller or whatever like me, do that. When you're scrolling through Instagram, like pictures, comment on pictures. And then another thing I do is like, when I'm commenting, if I really like the picture, I'll go to look at that girl's profile. And then if I like her profile, I'll be like, all right, I need to message her. And then I like open up the message and I haven't messaged her at all. It's crazy. Like I'll just realize that like while scrolling. So that's just another thing I wanted to say.
It's like came right to you. And like the other thing for me, like I had a scrolling issue too. I would set timers. And I turned it into interaction time. So I allow myself, because I get distracted. I have like a squirrel brain. Like after college, it just, my focus kind of shifted.
Me too.
And so literally I would just set timers on my phone. Like, okay, I'm going to interact, whether it's like following, commenting, playing stories and commenting and swiping up on stories or whatever for 10 minutes. Or maybe do 5 minutes Instagram, and then I do 5 minutes on Facebook, intentional and stuff like that. Because we all have that need to creep on other people's lives. That's why social media kind of exists. You got to look at everyone doing, that's all of us, like if you say you don't do, like, you don't feel that way, like you're lying to yourself. But but I had to like limit myself and be disciplined and everything. And like, once I built that habit, it kind of just started happening, and I didn't have to set the timers all the time, you know, because it's just natural. It just became part of me. Like I was just doing it. So
Right.
awesome. Okay, so then clearly, so how many months did it take you for your first promotion?
Oh my God. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 8 months.
8 months to go Ruby.
Yes.
Okay, and then that was with the old charts. So
that was with the old charts. Yes.
Okay, so guys, when we first started, the charts were more complicated. So they actually
way more complicated.
January 2019, they revamped them to be easier.
So you know how like Ruby, you have to have 3 distributors to go Ruby? Yeah, 2 years ago you had to have 5.
Yeah.
So that was for you to go Ruby.
Yeah. And do you know when you first charted how many months it took you to chart and then to actually hit the promotion? And was there a month in between those months that you like missed Ruby? And how did you keep yourself to like keep going?
Okay. So first of all, it took me 4 months to sign my first distributor. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that's a fun fact. Yeah, it took me it took me a really long time to sign my first distributor. But for me, I'm a person that like once I start something, I don't just give up. I like follow through with it. So it took me 4 months to sign my first distributor. And then by the end so I really started seriously working my business in November of 2017. So about 5 months after I joined. And once I got charted at the end of November, probably around Thanksgiving, so like around honestly like this time 2 years ago, I just worked my butt off. I messaged like crazy and I did unsend resends and follow-ups. And then I went Ruby literally the day before conference, my first conference ever. I promoted to Ruby like the day before I flew to Florida, which was January 31st, 2018. So I went to conference as a literal brand new Ruby. And then, you know, life got crazy. And I was a senior in college at that point. And I was just about to graduate and I had a lot of life happen to me. But I think I kept Ruby January, February, March, and then April and May, I lost it. And I don't really remember why or what was going on, but I just remember that I was just like buried in school and buried in graduation and everything that came with that. And I just think that like I put my business on the back burner. Like I stopped working it hard. I stopped being consistent. And then because I stopped, I lost my rank. So, but honestly, losing my Ruby rank was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And that probably sounds bizarre, but it's like, it made me realize that I was worthy of more, that I joined for a reason. And I won't ever forget like sitting in a college class, one of like the worst college classes I ever took. And it was literally like a month before I graduated. It was 2 months after conference had passed. And I just remember like my professor talking about jobs and I was a public relations major and I didn't know what I wanted to do for a career and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I just remember sitting in the classroom and she's going through all these jobs and I just said, no. And then I think like after that class, like I realized like, holy crap, I want to do It Works full time. And like, I was a Ruby. I wasn't even balancing Ruby. And so I graduated and the day that I came home, which was May 20th, 2018, the day after I graduated, I did not stop. I hadn't signed a customer in like probably over a month. I got 5 customers that week. I was just like, I'm going to go diamond. I'm going to go diamond. I'm going to go diamond. I'm making this my full-time job. I'm going to do it. And then I did. I went to green carpet in July and I just had a fire in me. And then August I went emerald and then September I went diamond. And that was all with old charts. A diamond chart used to be 24 boxes. Mm-hmm. 24 boxes. It's now, I think, 16.
That was when bonuses were out too, right?
Yes. Yes. I did not get the emerald bonus, but I got the diamond bonus.
That was me. We promoted the same month to diamond. So
Wait, we promoted the same month?
yeah, I promoted emerald in August when you did, and then we both hit diamond September 2018.
How did I not know that? I didn't know that.
No, that's killer. For those of you who were in during 2018, Mark had released these bonuses with promoting to diamond. It was a $7,500 bonus for
Right.
first time ranking to diamond, and it was pretty great. Pretty great.
Your last question was like, how did I keep myself going? I think that's what the last question was.
Yes.
I just didn't want to get a corporate America job, to be honest. Like, I graduated, I did the whole school thing. I was a good school student. I loved school. I loved it, and it changed my life, and it made me figure out what I liked and what I didn't like and who I am as a person. And like, I don't regret going to school at all. I got my degree. I did it. But it's like, you know, there's 75% of all.
Ooh. Kayla, I think I lost you.
People that graduate. Oh no! Hello.
Okay.
Are you here?
I think I got you now. You kind of cut in and out a little bit.
Okay. Whoa. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I don't know where I left off. What was I saying? Okay. So like, anyway, I just like didn't want to get a corporate America job. And like, I've been out of college for a year and a half now. I still have a corporate America job. I have literally done it full time ever since I graduated. So that's honestly, yes. Have I pushed through this? It's just like, if you're in a valley right now, like, you have to understand that you have to go through the valley to get to the mountaintop. That like you can only go through it. You can't go around it. You can't create a magic carpet. You can't create a magic bridge. It doesn't exist. You have to go through the suck. You have to push through it. And like, if anything, like, that's literally what I've learned this whole year. Like, you have to push through the suck. So if you're in a valley, maybe you haven't worked your business as hard, or maybe something in your personal life happened and you let that like kind of take over your business, and then you put your business on the back burner. If that's you, I'm speaking to you. Push through the suck. And like, literally, like like I said before, it all comes down to how bad do you want it. Like, if you're sitting there and you haven't re-ranked, why? And then like, answer yourself, check yourself, and then literally figure out what you need to do to get there. Get your charts out. Talk to Jess. Talk to your upline. Follow people that inspire you. Reach out to people that inspire you. I don't know. Like, you just gotta figure it out. There's no perfect script. There's no, perfect post. Like, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. Right? Did I say that right? Yes. You like, there's no magic script. There's no magic like message. Like, you just have to do the work. So if you're sitting there and you're like, how do I keep going? What are your goals? What do you want? And like, always have those like in your face. That's honestly what keeps me going in this business. And another thing that keeps me going is Zooms. I literally, to this day, I'm on at least 3 to 4 Zooms a week, at least. Or if there's not a lot going on during the week, I'm YouTubing them. Cheyenne Knox, Morgan Martin, Carrie Young, all of them, I watch all of their Zooms at least every week. And it's just because they inspire me. I want to be Cheyenne Knox. I want to be Carrie Young when I have a family, when I have kids. I want to be Morgan Martin when she's in her mid-20s and she's being so successful. Like, I want to be like that. So find people that set your soul on fire and find your goals, and then get to dang work.
Yes, I love that. And honestly, Carrie Young, Morgan Martin, and Cheyenne Knox, like, huge inspirations within the business. And like, even if you don't know anyone's names yet, like Pam Souter, our awesome CNO, offers the Show Me the Money calls every Monday night. Like, you can learn about other top leaders and how they work their business. It's on a Facebook Live. like every Monday night. And it's like, you just like hop on and watch it and listen and learn, and you can replay it and, you know, etc. And Pam has her podcast too. That's free for like iPhone users. Like, you have the podcast app, like you go to the Pam Souter podcast, and like she interviews people from the company who have been successful. Like,
I legit love the Pam Souter podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You just have to find things that like fill you up and like that you can like learn from and find your own niche or whatever that word is.
Right.
That you want to do. And like, I know like you're talking about like pushing through the suck and everything. And I kind of wanted you to elaborate a little bit more if you're open to it. And like, if whether you've gone through struggles in your business or personal life, how did you continue like working through that, or like staying motivated and inspired? I know you said like watching Zooms and everything, but is there something that you do daily that helps contribute to you staying in that better mindset, or, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Definitely number one is self-development. And you guys probably hear that 5.2 million times, but like, it's because it's true. It's all about mindset, and it's all about literally believing in yourself. Like, me personally, I struggle with like feeling worthy or feeling good enough. And that's just something in my brain that I struggle with, and that's just me. And so like, I literally say like, oh, I don't deserve that, or I don't need that, or I'm not worthy of that. And then like, I will be like, no, wait, no, like I am worthy. Like, I want that. And it's just like, you also have to remember that like, no one is ever going to want your dreams more than you. Literally no one else. And it's like, it doesn't matter how big or small the dream or the goal is. Like, that's your dream. That's your goal. So a lot of the struggles that I've gone through in this business, when I first joined, I had severe depression and anxiety. I was in literally a black hole. And, you know, there's a part of my story, and I'm willing to share it, but, you know, if you asked me to share this like a year ago, I would have said no. But, you know, not a lot of people know like the really in-depth like pre-story to my It Works journey. And I was in a relationship with this guy for 2.5 years, and he totally broke my heart. And he left me for another girl, and it was terrible. And like, after the breakup, it was terrible. And I was lost. I didn't know like who I was. Like, I'm a very bubbly person, as Jess knows. Like, I'm a very bubbly person. I talk all the time. I don't shut up. Like, literally, like, I shut down. And he actually told me not to do this business because he thought it was a scam. So I didn't do it. But like, after that, it came to a point where I just was fed up with everything. And I just like, I had a lot of dark thoughts, and I was just like, I need something positive in my life. And then this business popped into my lap. And it helped me get through a lot with my mindset and improving to be a better person and to be more positive. Like, if it weren't for self-development, like, I literally would not be where I am today. Like, I would still be in that black hole. Also, shout out to freaking Confianza, okay? Like, that got me through my whole senior year of college. Like, oh my God, I took it all the time. I pulled like so many all-nighters. I did not sleep. But like, it's just the depression and the anxiety, like, that is something that I feel like is always going to be there. And you just have to learn how to cope with it. And that probably, I don't know if that sounds bad or whatever, but like, I will always have anxiety, and that's just part of me. And I know not everyone has anxiety. I know not everyone has depression, but like, regardless if you do or not, shit happens. Sorry, I don't need to swear, but like, things just happen in your life that are negative, and they can bring you down, and they can change like the course of like your mindset. And it's just always so important to remember that like, you are worthy, you are enough, and that you deserve the best life possible on this earth, because you only have one life. Another example, when I was going Emerald, I went through another breakup. He broke up with me like 3 days before the end of the month, and I was crying. Like, I couldn't even like text. I couldn't do anything. And I just remember like getting on a power hour because like our team was like doing it. And then my upline reached out to me and she was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "No, I just got broken up with over a phone call." And she was like, "And you're on a power hour?" And I was like, "Yes, because I'm going emerald." Like, that is how bad I wanted it. I wasn't letting anything or anyone get in my way of what I wanted. And like, well, if I literally let that breakup get to me, he would have won. He would have taken everything. And I did not want that. I wanted that promotion for me. And so I had to push through. And it's just, I think that like, it just comes down to like I said, again, how bad do you want it? How bad? Because like, I literally was willing to literally have my eyes swollen shut for 2 days after crying so much, just so I could send out 5 texts when I was literally crying, bawling. Yeah. And I had a lot of health issues last year, and I still do. If you guys don't know, hey, your girl has mono. So I've had to push through that. When I had mono, did not want to get up. I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow. Like, and it's just like, life is always going to happen. And it's just like, yeah, I've had some negative crap happen to me, but like, I think like when I had mono, that was like the biggest wake up call. Like, if I literally never picked up my phone, I wouldn't have enrolled 25 customers in the month of October and 7 distributors. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I just said, I'm just going to sleep. I don't feel like it. You have to work based on what you want, not based on how you feel. And that's like the biggest thing. It's like, did you just say that? You did.
Yeah, that's something that I'm like major about right now. Like, we got
like you have to. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you have a million bajillion things going on in your life. You have to work based on what you want, not how you feel. Because if you wait to feel ready or to feel work, you never will.
Yes, I love that. And like, just put it in perspective, like a normal job, if you're sick and like not in like the hospital, like you're required to go to work. When I worked at the animal hospital and I was sick, I drove an hour to work, worked all day with patients, sick as a dog, literally, with the sick dogs and cats. And then I had to drive an hour home. I could not call out of work because I was on an emergency service. And I was the vet assistant, the vet tech on staff. And there was only 3 of us, and she needed all 3 every shift. Without one, the whole organization for our service that day would get messed up. So, you know, I was like, yeah, it was really tough and really hard, but I was there. I was sick. With this business, I still show up when I'm sick, but guess what? I get to work from my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Take a half-hour nap here and there if I need it. Like last year, I had a medical procedure, and I was literally in the hospital gown signing customers before my procedure, literally. And like, I remember Sasha was like, "Aren't you at the hospital right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm signing customers because it's on my phone." So cool, you know? And she was just like, okay, you know? But like, we can work from our phone. You can work from the couch, like literally, unless like I have a migraine, but then I could take a nap and come back to it, you know, hit and miss. And like, I'm still there and I'm still doing it because what do we do when we're sick? We watch TV. We binge Netflix. We binge watch Disney Plus, which I don't have yet, but if I had it, I'd probably binge it. But you know, like, and that's the truth. But if you had a normal job, you still gotta go. So treat this like a job and you'll get paid like a job. And believe me, this can pay you more than any normal job. It's just, you got to put in the work and the effort.
And I think one more thing though is that, like, you know, if you have another job, if you have a part-time job, and let's just say, for example, you hate it, why do you force yourself to go to work at a job you hate, but you won't do a job that you love? Like, you literally, if you're tired, if you're sick, you still go to work. So why don't you treat your business the same exact way? It's so different, except right. And like, you work from your phone.
So cool. I love it.
Like,
like, Hello.
Hello.
I love that. But I want to do quick, your top 3 big things that are important to you in your business that you think that are important to you. And then real quick, your best advice for newbies. And then we're going to switch people.
Three things like I love about the business, or like
the 3 most important things for your business that you do like daily, or that make sure you're doing to grow.
Okay. No, that's okay. So the number 1 thing, journal. I journal every day. And that is something that I did not honestly do until October 1st when I got diagnosed with mono. And journaling, it helps me literally talk myself through pity parties. It helps me dream bigger. It helps me kind of like literally write the negativity on paper and close the book. Like I literally like let it all out, and like it's just you and God. Like no one else is reading your journal. You don't have to show it to anybody. It's just you and God. And like I just pour everything out of me, and then at the end of each journal I write down like what I'm grateful for. So 5 things that I'm grateful for, and then I thank God for the things that He has blessed me with. And then I write down my goals for the day. Number 2, gotta post on the story. Gotta do it. I literally drink keto coffee and chocolate greens every single morning, and I make a video or post a picture of me doing coffee every single morning, and then back it up with like result pictures from the coffee. Because me personally, I'm down 15 pounds like Hitler. And then number 3 is, posting every single day and just making sure you're talking to as many people as you possibly humanly can. Like it's all about how many people you talk to, and like no matter what, it's always a numbers game. Tips for newbies, you got to self-develop. The sooner that you do it, the better that your mindset is going to be, and honestly the faster you will promote. You can't essentially like, yes, 15 pounds. Yes. You can't like,
just saying,
like if I didn't start self-developing, like after green carpet in 2018, I would have never went emerald. I would have never went diamond. And what helped me, my favorite all-time book is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I still listen to it this day. It's my favorite book. And then the second thing I had for newbies is just talk to your upline. Blow them up, whether it's someone on this team or Jess, like talk to them, like send them screenshots, ask for help, because honestly, like that is something I struggle with too. I like to be independent. But it's just like there comes to a point where like you need help. You don't know how to chart, or you don't know where to place this person, or you don't know how to answer this text or whatever. Like ask your upline for help, because you are never bothering them. And I'm going to say that for Jess. Like if you text her, you're not bothering her. If anything, you're pumping her up. You're like because then that tells her that like, oh my God, like this girl wants it. Like this girl wants to learn. This girl wants to promote. Like that's what she wants. Like she wants you guys to reach out. So if you're not reaching out, or if you're afraid that you're going to bother them, don't be afraid and reach out.
Okay, I think you froze a little bit, but yeah, I understand. I got what you're saying though. Like, yes, reach out to me, talk. And those of you who are Cassie's girls, reach out to Cassie too, or reach out to your upline, period, or sideline sisters, because they're always there to help you and everything too. Thank you so much, Kayla. You guys throw some love in the chat for Kayla. Kayla, you're still frozen, so just so you know. But I am going, if you can remute yourself, and then I'm going to bring on Allison, our second guest. I'm super excited to have you. Hold on, let me see. Hi, yeah, you unmuted yourself. I like wasn't sure. I was like, I hope so. Awesome. I'm so excited to have you on here. Oh, Kayla, you're back. Hello. I don't know if you heard any of that, but we're going to switch over to Allison. I said thank you very much. Alrighty, so let me find my questions. Allison, okay, so if you just want to start out with your story and tell us a little bit about yourself and like when you joined and why you joined and everything like that.
Okay, cool. So I'm Allison. I am a triple diamond now. I started in November of 2017, so actually the same month that Jess joined. We actually joined like days apart. It was so cool. But I mean, my story's been like wild. I went really fast in the beginning. And I kind of like went diamond, and that was like my big goal. I went diamond in 3 months, and I was like, cool. Like, I was charted double the very like next month, but I didn't do it. Um, and I remember double was actually my biggest promotion because I went with one person. There's one person working on my chart, and it was Tori, which is a freaking boss. And she was killing it. Okay, she was a strong person. So if you've got one strong person, like, just get that one person and like run with them, because we were killing it. And the month I went double, I actually wasn't any closer than any of the other months. Like, I was the same amount away, if not further. I think I was like 6,000 on the 15th. And I was looking at it on the 15th, and I was like, all right, like, this sucks. I'm in the same place. Like, I was like cussing at it, and I was like, I'm at the same place. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just have to like do it, or it's just going to get further away. And I remember what is it? Oh, I signed a lease to an apartment, and I moved in on September 1st. So August, I had to go double, or I could not afford the apartment. So that's honestly what drove me to go double. I don't think I would have went double without like the apartment deal. So if you got something to drive you, make it a timeline, like whatever you have to do. I'm very money driven, so that really drove me to like go after that. Triple was my easiest promotion of all time. Fun fact. So if you're working toward triple right now, I can tell you that's a freaking mindset. I mean, there's no secret in that one. You got to have a team. You can't go triple by yourself. That's one thing. So leadership is huge. I mean, even at the diamond level, you've really got to like. I'm big on leadership. So I believe like leadership's like what got me to triple, because it certainly wasn't me. That was my freaking team. I can't take credit for that. My freaking team. Because triple was the easiest one. And that's basically it. So the goal is to go Prez by March of 2020. I'm going to make it happen. And I want $26,000 in a paycheck. That's my goal.
Yes, I love that. Wow, that's so inspiring. And when you joined, can you talk a little bit about your like schedule and like what your life was like when you joined business, going diamond in 3 months and everything?
Oh yeah. So I actually hated college. This is so funny, but if you guys have me on Snapchat, like a few of you do, but I'm gonna show y'all this because I was laughing today so hard. So I had this like little diploma thing. Y'all, I don't even know if you can see this. I had this little diploma thing where I went to college, and let's see if you can. So this was me 2 years ago, and it has this, and I was so freaking mad at college that I ripped it. Like, look. I ripped it up. Okay, so long story short, I was in college when I joined this business, and I freaking hated what I was doing. And I just like, I just hated like, not so much what I was doing. So I was going to school to be a paramedic, but I hated like where I was at. That's not the college I wanted to go to. I was racking up debt, and I was trying to like, I saw all these girls going on vacations and like living their life, and I was sitting in a dorm room, you know, ready to go to medical school and like studying for the MCAT and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, like I'm not going to be rich until I'm like 40 years old. And I'm going to have like over 100K in debt. And that's like, once I got to thinking about it, I was like, yeah, being a doctor is cool and stuff, but that's like not something I want to do, because what the heck? Like I want to live my young years, like my best time, you know? So it just didn't work out for like my goals. So I joined the business, and I was still going to school because I actually went, after I joined the business, fun fact, I went up to the financial aid office, I don't know, and I was like, I quit. And they were like, so if you quit, you'll actually lose all your scholarships and like everything and have to pay, I think, because I just started the semester, but I was like over the time period. So they were like, so if you quit, it's actually going to be like 50 grand instead of 7. I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to just finish it. So I just finished it out. I was taking 18 credits. I was also shadowing a doctor on the weekends just to see if that was something I wanted to do, and also going to paramedic clinical because I had already signed up for it and I couldn't get out of it. So paramedic clinical was either 8-hour or 12-hour shifts, and sometimes I'd go to school all day and then have paramedic clinical for 8 hours after class, like starting at sometimes 6 p.m., and I would just go. So, and if you know anything about that, you cannot be on your phone. Like, you're literally either driving an ambulance or picking somebody up. I mean, sometimes you have downtime where you don't get a call, but, like, up here, that's, like, not likely. So yeah, I just made it work. I was like, I saw the money, honestly. I was super negative my first month, but then I saw the money and I was like, I think I made $50 my first month, and I showed it to my mom and she was like, you need to quit. And I was like, yeah, but my upline. So follow your upline, because she's what inspired me, because she posted her paycheck and she was like covering the number, but it showed the first, like, and it said 6 comma, and I was like, whoa. Like, she just made 6 grand. If she can do that, why can't I? So that's honestly, like, I can remember that, like, in my brain right now. Like, that's the best thing that I saw ever, because I was like, if she can make 6 grand, my $50 isn't a lot right now, but I can get to that 6 grand. So that's basically it. I mean, I just ran to Diamond, and without Lindsay, I couldn't have done it, because she honestly just told me every single day, like, I didn't have an option not to go Diamond. So that's kind of it.
Yeah, and I remember meeting you January 2018 at conference, and I think I had just promoted Ruby end of December, and I don't know, I think you were Ruby in January, and I was like, you were a distributor in January? And I remember meeting you, and I know, like, you were like, oh, my car broke down and all this jazz. And I was like, we joined the same month. And then I remember you hitting Emerald Diamonds and getting the bonuses, like, within your 3 months. I was just like, wow, this girl. And I was like, she's amazing. And Allison and I have kind of just been, like, I've, like, been following Allison the whole time. And you joined after me, I think, too. Which is crazy. And I was like, this girl, she's a spitfire. And like, you set a goal down, like, you write a goal down and you're like, I'm going to go do it. Like, bye. And it's awesome. I like how you mentioned how your mom was like, yo, you need to stop, because like my parents were the same. So were your parents, like, or important people in your life, were they always really supportive in the beginning, or did they have to like warm up to the idea?
So my mom's always been pretty supportive, but she also likes data like I do. So she saw $50 and she was like, do you really think that's something you want to do? Like, I thought you were working hard. And I was like, I was, but it's $50. Like, I don't know. But then my grandma was way against it. Everybody in my family like hated that I dropped out of college, because I was going to be this big doctor. And they were like, what the heck, Allison, you suck. Like, you just dropped everything. And I was like a straight A student, so I could have went to be a doctor. Like, I know that, like, I could still go right now and I could still like be a doctor. Like, I'm capable of that, but it's just not what I wanted to do. And I was just tired of like doing stuff for other people to please them. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do this for myself. So I kind of just tuned them out. Honestly, I just tuned them out. And that's the best thing to do. Like, I know that you care about the people that, you know, are in your life, but sometimes they don't have the same end goal that you do for yourself. And so it's, you know, you got to kind of like be like, okay, like, thanks for your opinion, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Yeah, and I love that. And like, Sherilyn and a lot of leaders have been saying this, like, no one cares about your dreams as much as you do, and it's your dream. So why are you letting other people's opinions and judgments impact what you want? Because it's not what they want, it's about what you want. And like, that's just like so huge. I remember like my first week, my dad was like, you joined a scam, you need to leave. And I was like, let me just make my $99 back. Hey, thanks. And like I made it back in 5 days because there was Christmas cash going on during that time. And I earned my spree and $100 in Christmas cash. And I was like, cool, made back my $99 and got a $100 shopping spree, you know? And I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And he was just like, okay. And then I think it was like 3 months in or after conference, because I went to conference like 3 months in. I bought my tickets using Fast Starts and I stayed with friends, didn't stay in a hotel. And literally I came back from conference and then I was averaging like $500 plus in Fast Starts on top of my commission monthly. That's when I got my dad's attention. And he goes, oh, you're making money, you know? And then I was like, yeah. And I was Ruby. I was already Ruby, you know, 2 months in. And then I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm making money. And then when I hit Diamond, you know, 10 months in, that's when he was like, oh crap, you're making money. And then I promoted my mom Ruby. And then for my double promotion, I promoted my mom Diamond and I hit double 18 months in. And that's when my dad was like, whoa, okay. And like, so, you know, it took him a little bit longer. My mom was always like, she was like my first customer. She was like, let me buy anything and everything. Let's go. And so, so I had kind of different. So I liked how you're like, they had to like, are they a little better now then? Since like you've been in for, you know, 2.5 years, maybe close to it.
So I don't know. My grandma's still like, you need to go back to school.
Mm.
But that's just like old people. I don't know.
Yeah. My grandfather
like,
the
so
same.
good at it. But you know, as far as you know, my mom, she's like, I think I honestly shocked her. I just shocked her, and like now she's all about it. So definitely like don't let people discourage you, and then they'll come around eventually.
Prove them wrong. Yeah. Prove them wrong. Yeah. I love that. So I know when you started, you had a crazy busy schedule and everything. How did you fit this business into your day then? Or like, what did you do exactly or to like stay consistent? What are your like best tips? Because I know we have a lot of college students on here, so.
I'm honestly trying to like remember what I did because it feels like such a blur because I was just having fun. Like I honestly was just having fun. Like it was so much fun to like sign another customer and like just go after it. And like I like to highlight boxes. So having my chart out and like getting them down to where I could highlight them really motivated me. So my biggest thing is like find what drives you. I don't know, like highlighting boxes was just like my thing. If I don't know, that was honestly what drove me to work even though I was so busy, was just going after the boxes, looking at my chart. Every break that I had, I was working, and I had to go to tutoring, guys, because I was not. Now I'm smart, but it takes me a while sometimes, and I have to like really get it. So I went to tutoring every single day for like hours at a time. I had like this one tutor that tutored me every single day because I just like needed it. And he would be like, okay, let's take like a 5-minute break. And I would be using that time to work my business. And people would be like, what are you doing on your phone? And I was so excited to tell them what I was doing. And I think that's another thing is if you're not excited to tell people like what you're doing, then like, or if people ask you what you do and you're kind of like hesitant to like even say what you do, I feel like you're not fully in. And when you're not fully in, when you're embarrassed of what you're doing, then like, how are you even going to like sign customers and distributors if you're embarrassed about what you're doing? Like, I don't know. I was so excited. I thought I was like freaking better than a doctor. Like, I don't know. I just thought like, oh my God, one of these days I'm going to get a white coat and all this stuff. But then I was like, but dang, I'm an It Works girl. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just really proud of what I was able to do and like the money on the table with this and like my team. I was just really excited. And I feel like that's another thing. If you're not really excited and stuff, you're just not going to be excited to work it, you know? But yeah, I mean, I just worked it in. I probably had 20 minutes a day to eat. Sometimes I didn't get to eat, But if you're in school, you're either on a bus, walking to class, sitting in the dining hall. You can either sit in the dining hall and like gossip with your friends or like get stuff done. I didn't make a single friend in college, and I'm not telling you to not live your life, but I'm telling you that I didn't make a single friend in college because I was hustling. And I'm so glad I did it now or then because I can live like I do now. So I don't know. Like, I'm not saying don't avoid your social life, but just limit it. I would go out like on weekends. I would go home from college and like see my friends back at home and that kind of thing. But you know, when people are going out every single night and like gossiping in the halls, and I wasn't about it. I was like, my business needs this right now. I had a weird roommate, and she would always ask me to hang out, and I would be like, I'm studying, and I would have my book out, but I'd really be like working my business. It was so funny. But yeah, so you just have to want to do it, and you have to like be committed to doing it, and then knowing what's at the end of like doing it. So personally, like why I was going diamond is to pay for a car. Every single promotion I've had, I had something driving me money-wise. So if you're a big money person like I am, double diamond was the apartment. Diamond was my new car because I was driving a car that broke down all the time. Fun fact, I actually got the car when I was a Ruby, making about $200 a month. The car payment that I signed for was $400 because I was an 18-year-old. I had no idea how the hell I was going to, but I didn't know how the hell I was going to pay for it, okay, because I was a Ruby, but I knew how car loans worked, and the way it works is you sign for the car, they give you like 2 months to pay, like your first payment, it's like backed out some. So I was like, I'll be diamond by then. It didn't even faze me. I had so much faith that I was going diamond in 2 months that I went to the dealership, picked out a car I knew I didn't have the money for right away. And I somehow got approved because they got me approved without any income. I don't know. Like God, I don't know. But then that drove me to go diamond because I was like, okay, like, am I going to pay for my car? Like, not. So that's about it. Have something to drive you.
It's amazing, like, how your passion literally just like it's coming off of you. You're confident, you're speaking, like you have like so much excitement and passion. It's like making me like super excited. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like, and like, that's what you have to like talk about with other people because yeah, Kayla says you're making her sweat. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting all fired up. And everything, but like people feed into your vibe. And if you give off a really like hesitant, unsure, kind of like vibe, people are gonna be like, ooh, I don't want to talk to this girl. Like it's just like in real life, like if you don't come off friendly, like, you know, like people aren't gonna want to be your friend. And this business, literally, we get to meet tons of people on social media and network with people all over the world and make friends and help people get healthy and make money at the same time. All of my friends that I have now are either in the business or they're customers. And then they're going to join my team anyways. And like, I have a few friends from college that I stay connected to who support me because they know of all my big dreams that I want to check off. They know I'm going to pay off all my debt by September 2020. They know that I want to build a wildlife and conservation foundation and donate and give back because I have no intention and plans of going back and being an animal keeper or working in a hospital, working 50 plus hours a week, you know, and working with sick animals all the time. I want to give to foundations for conservation and do that. They know all those big dreams and I talk about it with them and they're like, oh, it finally clicked why you're doing this. Because at first they weren't very supportive. They thought I was crazy. They're like, are you having a midlife crisis at the age of 22? And I was like, no, like, this is real. Like, you know, people were like, did you get hacked? And I was like, no, I'm doing this. And like, I had like 100, less than 100 followers. And like, now I have 3 accounts and over 15,000 followers, like, and a lot on Facebook too. I don't even know the number on Facebook, but it's crazy. Like how the more you talk about it, the more excited you get, the more focused on the things like you want in life, like how that explodes over time and everything too. And like your energy is just, oof, it's amazing. I love it. Alrighty. So what are 3 big things that are important to you, like you and your business that you incorporate?
The biggest thing is self-development. And one thing I want to say about self-development is that it does not have to make sense to anybody else what you do. And this is a big thing for me because I thought I had to like listen to certain things and like take tips from certain people and read what they're reading, and half the stuff I was reading was coming in one ear and going out the other. And I was like, yeah, I self-developed today, but it's like, did you though? Because like what you're reading isn't even like speaking to you. So my biggest thing is like, you have to find again what drives you, like really find what drives you. Money drives me. So I listen to Grant Cardone. He's actually got a TV show, if you didn't know. First, I don't know, he went and like did this thing on CNN and they like got rid of him. They thought like he wouldn't have a good show. So if you Google Grant Cardone, he's actually live every single day except the weekends at 12 p.m. and he has a show. Monday is like real estate investing, and then Tuesday is like G&E show, Wednesday something else, Thursday's Young Hustlers, and then Friday's Cardone Zone. So each one, it's like a different show, but you can go back and watch like years of episodes. I watch a new one every single morning, and I turn that on first thing and I listen to it because the people that like know what they're talking about, like you have to take tips from people who know what they're talking about. So if you want to like literally go diamond and make $2,000 a month, that's 1% of the company. So you need to be careful about who you're getting your information from. You know, like I was looking at that the other day, guys, like Triple Diamond is 0.06% of distributors. Whoa. Okay. So if you want to be up there with the top people, you've got to figure out, you got to take tips from the right people, first of all. And Grant Cardone's like a great person to follow, especially if you're money motivated or even if you're not. He is a billionaire and you can take tips from him. So self-development. So I do recommend like everybody get some kind of leadership book, and John Maxwell is amazing. John Maxwell is not really like something that's going to like knock your socks off like Grant Cardone is, but it's something that you have to learn. So I feel like there's 2 like differences in self-development. There's like learning, and then there's like you getting fired up and like knowing what you're capable of. And both are very important because you need to learn about leadership. You need to learn from people at the top that know what they're doing. You need to learn certain things about business, but then again, you have to learn, you know, you have to self-develop in the sense of, okay, like he did it, I can too. He's thinking big, I'm going to think big too. You know, whatever it is. So the biggest thing is self-development. So I turn on Grant Cardone. I find an episode through there, and I just pick one and I listen to it. And then that's honestly like all I do for self-development. Throughout the day, I'll read a chapter in and I don't have it because it's beside my bed, but it's the John Maxwell Success 101 collection, and it's got all of his collections about leadership in there. I read a chapter in that, and that really helps because it taught me a lot about leadership. If you don't know about your team, like you can't lead them. So other than that, the next biggest thing is following up. I am a hard follow-up person. Half the time I don't sign up people on the spot. It's through follow-ups like the next day. And so I just follow up with people like mad, like literally like mad. Everybody I talked to yesterday is going to get a follow-up text today, and then the next day, and then the next day until I have like 7 or 8 times. Then I'll go like every week, but I'm still like, if they were very interested and they just like stopped answering, like, where'd you go? Like, I'm going to find you. But anyways, so following up. And then the third thing would probably be just like, you just got to talk to new people. If you're not getting new phone numbers, if you're not connecting with new people. It really doesn't matter how many host posts you get up. It doesn't matter how many posts you get up. It really doesn't matter any of that stuff. It just matters like what you're getting from it. So if you're getting up a ton of host posts and it's like not getting you anything, maybe you switch up your host posts. If you're messaging a bunch of people and like nobody's responding and you're literally messaging 100 plus people, then switch up your message. But it's probably not a message problem. It's probably the fact that you're like, oh, now I got a message. Probably. But that's like a whole nother thing. But if you're not getting people in your inbox, you're not getting people potentials. And I always tell my team, a potential isn't a potential until you have their phone number and you've talked to them about something and you've presented an offer, which is some kind of price. So they're not a potential to me unless I have their phone number, I've talked with them, they know what the product is, they know the price, and they have something to think about. If they don't have anything to think about, they're not a potential. Like, that's not even a potential. That's like somebody that's like not ready yet. So that's the 3 things.
I love that. And like, that's just so good. And like, they're not a potential until they have everything and they're just waiting until they have the money or whatever.
Yeah.
Or until you text them saying, hey, doing this, you ready? So that's awesome. That's a really good way to think about it. Because for me, I'm like, oh, you get their phone number, their potential, because now you have a full access to message them and follow up with them and everything like that. Because I label all my contacts like PLC, PDT, and then I put them in groups. And like, that's how I stay organized. That's how I've always done it. So, and now I recently started putting the date I get their phone number. So then when they order or they sign up, I know how long it took me to, seal the deal, or, like maybe I have people order from me all the time and they're like, oh, I've been following you for like a year. And I'm like, cool. You were just watching those seeds every day. I'm getting ready. I was watering your seed constantly. And then I harvested you, a year down the line. So that's awesome. I love that. So great. Sorry. I'm just like, the way you phrased it is so good. What is your best advice for working through struggle and staying motivated? I know you're really money motivated, but is there a time where your personal life, maybe you're going through something that was hard to get through something for your business? Does that make sense? I think I worded that wrong, but.
Lord, the whole 2019. If y'all had a rough 2019, I'm there with you. Yeah, so I mean, you live and you learn, kind of. I mean, you live and you learn. Like, 2019 can kiss my butt. Like, I'm sorry, I'm over it. But seriously, like, you just have to. I lost a lot of people in 2019. Okay, I lost a lot of volume in 2019. And I'm going to be honest, because I feel like everybody on here can relate. Like, sometimes you're way up here and then it's like, you're like, whoa, what just happened? I went through a very bad breakup of 5 years, and I legit like thought that was like end game. Like, I don't know. And it went down and I went down with it. Took a lot of my team down. I took my income down. Okay, so it happens. And, when stuff like that happens, you kind of just have to be like, okay, like I am where I'm at right now. What changed? Like, what happened to where, like, I went down? And you got to figure out, like, why you went down. So personally for me, like, I was just so concerned because all my goals were like aligned with my relationship. So when the relationship ended, I had to figure out myself. And sometimes you're going to go through that part of life to where you have to like completely, like, your life that you thought was your life is like not your life anymore, and you have to refigure that out. But I never quit. And that's like something that is like different, I feel like, between like me just being like, yeah, like I went down and then I just quit. Like, I know a lot of people that went down and quit. Okay, a lot of people, majority of people that go down in this business never go back up because they quit. They're like, oh, I went down. Okay, but what can I learn from going down? So if you're experiencing a low right now, you need to look around and say, okay, how can I prevent this from happening again? Personally, for me, I'm going to be very, very even if I'm in another relationship again, like I'm going to have my own goals. So that way, if, like I'm going to rely on myself, I'm going to have my own goals. So that way, if something like that were to ever happen again, I'm going to literally like have my own plan. And I'm not going to have my plan around somebody else because, and that's kind of like just me personally. But if you're going through a low right now or you're going through something in your life right now, the difference is if you're going to quit or if you're going to look around and say, this is where I'm at. What can I dream toward? How can this get better? Okay. And sometimes it's going to feel like crap. Sometimes your bank account's going to be overdrawn and your life feels, and maybe something medical is going on. And you feel like you just can't get up, what can you dream toward? And that's the biggest thing, is what can I dream toward and how can I get better today? So personally for me, and this is what Grant says to do, and I love him, so y'all know I take all his tips, but I write down my goals every single day and night, so morning and night, and I remind myself, okay, like even though shit may be hitting the fan right now, and sorry for the language, but you know what I mean? Like, stuff may be happening. Where am I going to? Because if I don't have anywhere to go, I'm just going to I'm not going nowhere. So I write down, and I write down so much stuff, but I'll give you all an example. So I own 40, I basically sound like Grant. I feel like I'm like a mini Grant. I own 40 apartments. I've invested $100,000 into Cardone Capital. My savings account reads $168,900. All my debt is gone. All my bills are on auto pay. I'm always able to help when I see a need. I'm Presidential Diamond. I speak on stage at every event. Like, just stuff like that. Where am I going? Even though crap is happening right now, because it is, and I'm not going to lie, crap's happening right now in my personal life, in my business, and everywhere. You just have to be like, okay, where am I going though? Because this is temporary where I'm at now. But like, where am I going to go? So the biggest thing is that you don't quit. Even if you do the bare minimum things every single day, consistency is going to pay off. Even if you don't see it like right now, and this is something Grant said, I think it was either today or yesterday, the video that I listened to. Sometimes you're going to have to do things that you don't automatically see the reward to so that you can live the life you want later. And that is so true, because I remember when I was distributor level, making those $50 checks, and I didn't really see where it was going. It's like all of a sudden it was $2,000, and I was like, how the heck did I get here? And it was like that hard work that I paid that I didn't even see was paying off. Like back when I was making $50 checks and like mad about it, it was like, but now I got a $2,000 check, and I got that $2,000 check because of the work I put in when I made only $50. So this business isn't to where you only get paid 1 month. Like, customers sign up for 3+ months. So like, don't think of it as like, okay, 1 month, like I did bad, and the next I did good, and the next I did bad. Like, no, like you're working longer than that. It's not just like 1 month intervals and then like everybody cancels and we restart. Like, that's not what happens. You're building your team, you're building leadership, people are growing, you're growing, customers are growing. So that's my rant for today.
And that's, I love that. And that's like so true, because like, and I hear all the time. And like, when I first joined, the biggest thing is like, I was listening to YouTube recordings and like, I could never hop on Zoom trainings because of my work schedule, but I found them on YouTube. I'm super green. So I was like, I want all the info, like give me all the info. So I'd like go look for YouTube videos. I would listen to them, and they're always like, give this business, a year, give yourself a year. And like, the seeds you plant every single day are going to add up to this huge harvest later on. And every day you work your business, you're posting, you're sharing, you're talking to people, you're growing your network. Literally you're watering your garden every single day. And if you think about it in real life, like when you plant a garden, the first day you put your seed down, do you harvest it? Do you pick it up out of the ground because it's already a fruit? It's already a tomato, whatever. No, it takes time and patience and watering and care. And I don't know, maybe you pray to it. I don't know. But like literally, like you have to put time and effort into it and believe that it's going to happen. And then later you have a gorgeous garden ready to be harvested and you're good to go. Like the work that I've done that I had been doing 2 years ago when I first joined, I'm still reaping benefits from. Literally, I've had girls, I talked to them my first month I joined the business about the opportunity, about products. I had a girl join me 2 years later, join my team. 2 years. And we acknowledged that when I was like talking to her. She was 2 months in and I was like, by the way, did you know 2 years ago I reached out to you on Instagram and you were like, nah. But I kept going. She followed me. She watched me every single day. And 2 years later, she joined my team. Like, it just shows that, like, you take care of your garden, you put the effort and the love in, and it'll come to you later on. And that's with consistency and believing and growing, asking questions, etc. And, like, you're awesome. I just had to talk about that. We're fine. Anywho, any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share for newbies or just in general? And then if you guys have anyone that's on here, if you have questions, if you want to throw them in the chat for either Kayla or Allison or text me or whatever, we'll be wrapping this up. I know it's a little bit longer, but this has been so awesome. Sorry.
So let's see. I'm trying to think. Just go after it. Whatever your goal is, make sure that you have your chart. Work hard on it every day. And even if you're planting season and you're not seeing benefits right now, you're going to, as long as you're getting those phone numbers, getting those potentials, self-developing, dreaming bigger. That's the biggest thing. And that's the single thing that took me to triple was believing that I could be triple. It wasn't, I didn't sign 100 customers a month and 50 distributors and never sleep to go triple. Like I think I signed 15 customers that month. 15. That was like an off month for me in customers. 15. Okay. And I think I signed 15 distributors. So, like, if you want to get to the next level, it's not so much about like stop thinking of like you getting all these customers and like being this mass enroller. Like you don't have to be a mass enroller. Teach people what you know, love on your team, build on them, figure out how to train them, dream bigger, believe that you can do it. And one day you're literally going to look up and you're going to be like, how the heck did I get here? Because I remember when like triple was like about to happen and everybody was texting me and they were like, how far? And I think I had 300 left. And I was like, it's only 300. And I was like, how the heck did I just get here? And I didn't do anything different than like going diamond. Double diamond was the hardest. And that's because I had zero leadership. I didn't have a team. So you got to work on your leadership and you got to build more in your team. And I will tell you that I'm a mass distributor enroller, and I feel like that's the key in this business because you cannot go triple by yourself. It's hard to go double by yourself. Diamond, I did it by myself, so you can too. Any other promotion you can do by yourself, but double and triple, I feel like you need at least one person working, and to get that person working, you have to figure out how to lead them and then lead from the front. Don't think you have to be this magical unicorn. Okay, like just believe that you can do it. And that's basically it. I mean, but what I was saying, so enrolling distributors, so I think in the months leading up to triple, I was signing like 30 distributors a month. And I feel like that's exactly what took me to triple because I was going through so many people that I was naturally finding somebody to take off. And the month so October of last year's, I think I signed 33 distributors, and that was the most I had ever done. That's where the majority of my leaders came from that are with me today. Like literally today, that are still with me. So going through a lot of people and then figuring out who's going to run with you is going to take you to the next level, because if you can find somebody to run with you, it's like, you might think 15 customers isn't a lot, Allison, I'm never going to get anywhere. Okay, but find 4 people to also get 15 customers, and then you're going to be pretty good. So that's all.
I love that. And like, yeah, exactly. Like ultimately it comes down to growing your garden, getting those potentials, sealing the deal. And like, I hear all the time on Zooms, people talk about like, there's 4 aces in a deck, but you have to go through the entire deck of cards in order to find those 4 aces or even a ace. And, you know, you might sign, you know, like when I first joined this business, I know like my first distributor quit after 24 hours, called and canceled, that I signed. I was so excited. We did FaceTimes. I was like so pumped, and her dad was like, nah, you need to call and cancel. And she quit. But I didn't stop. I got another person. She was in for a couple months, stopped. And the people that are on the team now, they haven't always been with me for the whole 2 years. Like I think the longest person, it's been about a little over a year. And she's still with me. She's still working. She's still doing the stuff. She still shows up. She goes on every Zoom. She talks to me every day. She's always actively learning, like wanting to learn and grow. And those are the people that, you know, you hold on to, you pour your time into, because they're going to be the next person. They're your ace. But I didn't even personally enroll her. Somebody else who I enrolled her. And that person left a long time ago, gave up, didn't even try, signed up her friend, and she left, the friend stayed. So it wasn't even my ace in the deck, but I take care of that ace. And like, that's like the truth. Like anyone you talk to, any top leader, like, you know, they sign all these people, but you know, the people who really truly want to change their life and really truly want to work this business and take the opportunity and catch the vision, like they'll stay with you, but it takes some time sometimes. And yeah, I first off want to thank you guys so much. Literally, like, show some love in the chat, you guys. And for those of you who are still on, I really appreciate you. I know it's a little longer than normal, but literally this has just been so inspirational. I have notes I've written down, and I will be sure to send you guys this recording to share with your teams too. But I really appreciate you taking the time out of your nights. And Allison, I hope you feel better soon as well too. So